want to invite Kate, now from MADRE. Kate Alexander is the Policy and Campaigns Manager at MADRE, working with women and dispossessed communities all around the world. Kate, please share with us your reflections this evening.
Thank you so much, Shelly. I can't believe I have to go after Christine. That was so incredibly powerful. I can't believe I have to speak now after these two incredibly powerful speakers, but luckily we're all in this together. It's really an honor to be with all of you tonight. I feel like I'm in a room with human rights defenders, and at MADRE, a global feminist fund, I have the honor to work with the bravest people in the world who are women human rights defenders who are organizing in the most repressive contexts for survival and liberation. From Palestine to Sudan to Afghanistan, MADRE partners are organizing for a future we have to imagine and build collectively. We're often taught in this kind of work that survival is a precursor, a sort of first step before we can begin to imagine abundance and liberation. If you start with imagining abundance, you're dreaming. You're an idealist. But what if collective liberation, abundance, and survival are all in the same step? But how do we talk about abundance in the space of immeasurable grief? I would turn to Valerie Kaur, who offered this wisdom in another moment of grief in November 2016. She said, "What if this darkness is not the darkness of the tomb, but the darkness of the womb? What if our America is not dead, but a country still waiting to be born? What if the story of America is one long labor? What if all the mothers who came before us, who survived genocide and occupation, slavery and Jim Crow, racism and xenophobia and Islamophobia, political oppression and sexual assault, are standing behind us now, whispering in our ear, 'You are brave'? What if this is our great contraction before we birth a new future? Remember the wisdom of the midwife. Breathe," she says, "then push." So I won't stand here and deny the darkness. The genocide in Gaza has claimed the lives of countless Palestinians, at least 37,000 from direct conflict, and according to more recent calculations, more than 180,000 from indirect causes of conflict like hunger and disease and lack of medical care. Queer people are facing new criminalization and crackdowns around the world, from Turkey to Russia to Uganda to Florida. War criminals have platforms in presidential campaigns and in Congress, while human rights defenders face relentless attacks. So it'd be understandable to give into overwhelm and doubts. These harms are so big, and the system that we find ourselves in is so broken. But the thing about darkness is that maybe we need to build in darkness in order to build beyond the limitations of our vision. Because isn't that what we're here to do? As Christine just said, isn't our vision too small unless we are trying to build a world that we have never seen? So we don't have to deny that it's dark to also hold the overwhelming promise of birth. We are in the midst of a cultural rebirth, a renaissance for the bravest among us to hold a future where we can all thrive. We build by holding in equal measure the darkness of survival and the light of vision. During COVID in the West Bank, the women-led organization Salon Plus created a virtual lifeline for women and girls suffering from increased rates of domestic violence during the pandemic, something we saw all around the world. Despite not being able to meet these women and girls face-to-face, they began offering counseling sessions and public health workshops online. And that resource has continued. These sessions that helped women and girls survive in lockdown and confront rising violence, that same structure of connection is used today to address the ongoing trauma as Palestinians confront Israel's genocidal assault. These connections that we make in these moments of crisis are the tools of building community. It's how we build the muscle of holding each other and create the sustainable movement infrastructure that we need for more transformative change. MADRE partners Sofipadi in the Congo and the Organization for Women's Freedom in Iraq also work to confront rising levels of domestic violence during the COVID pandemic. And the work to confront domestic violence also disrupts gender norms by bringing violence against women into the light and creating paths for the social, financial independence of women and girls. In the DRC, Sofipadi created radio and television campaigns to spread awareness of the rise of domestic and intimate partner violence due to COVID. But they did not stop there. They also accompanied 3 legal cases of domestic violence. So because of this awareness campaign and our ability to build community, people were able to get legal support for their own financial independence, for their own social independence and liberation, because they reached out to Sofipadi because they heard those initial messages of public awareness. The Organization for Women's Freedom in Iraq runs a network of shelters for women who are fleeing domestic violence. These shelters are equipped with food, hygiene materials, and protective equipment. And they are among the only places of refuge for Iraqi women and girls fleeing violence from their home. And technically now these shelters are illegal because the use of gender in public communications is illegal in Iraq. Something that might sound familiar to you if you've read Project 2025. But OFI continued, despite repression, to work with these women, uplifting their social and economic independence to build a progressive feminist movement, to demand an end to gendered violence in Iraq. In their hands, survival is a form of protest. And I can't share the names of the women who we work with because survival under authoritarian and repressive regimes isn't just about how do you save lives, it's about how do you save lives without risking your own. What exposure creates safety for your work and what exposure puts you all at risk? And the answer to that question, the really messy, difficult answer to that question, is how feminist networks keep each other safe. I'm here today because these women and human rights defenders, these organizers, they're not alone. All over the world, abundance, including in this room, blooms where women human rights defenders concede collective survival. As Christine shared, people without a vision perish, but people with a vision, people who can see in the dark, that's real power. In Nicaragua, Wangi Tangni helped small women farmers during the pandemic protect their livelihoods by building local seed banks. Through seed distribution, tools, and trainings, they helped 86 women produce food for more than 600 members of their community. Their ability to build tools for survival are the very beginning steps towards food sovereignty and independence. And one of my favorite stories from our partners is from partners in Yemen, Food for Humanity, which forged local peace agreements between warring parties by addressing water rights, something everyone needs, and forcing members of a community to negotiate over a shared precious resource. And that model of organizing around your most essential needs is now the foundation of the UN-led peace process. Their resilience and commitment to building vision in the darkness is a lesson to us all wherever we are. We must do what we can with what we have to protect one another and remind each other it doesn't have to be this way. We are our own best hope for a more just future. So we can't lose our footing in the darkness. We have to breathe. And then shoulder to shoulder with these extraordinary leaders in Nicaragua, Yemen, Iraq, Palestine, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, we push.